Why do we fall? Not just in body but in spirit. Not just in the world's eyes but in our own. Every stumble, every setback, every moment we hit the ground carries a hidden purpose. We fall not to stay down, but to discover the strength that only rising can reveal. A falling is part of being human. No matter who you are, where you come from, or how much you try to avoid it, life will present moments where you stumble. Mistakes, setbacks, and failures are not exceptions to the rule. They are the rule. They are woven into the very fabric of our existence. From the moment we take our first steps as children, falling becomes a part of the process. We don't learn to walk without falling countless times. We don't master new skills without making errors. We don't grow into stronger, wiser versions of ourselves without encountering trials that challenge our limits. In many ways, falling is one of life's most honest experiences. It strips away pretense and forces us to confront our vulnerability. When we're standing tall, moving forward, and feeling in control, it's easy to believe that we are unshakable. But the moment we fall, whether it's through a personal failure, a broken relationship, a career setback, or an unexpected life change, we are reminded that we are human, and being human means being imperfect. These imperfections are not flaws in the sense that they make us broken. Instead, they are necessary elements of growth. Without failure, there is no progress. Without mistakes, there is no learning. Without setbacks, there is no resilience. The very challenges that we often wish we could avoid are the ones shaping us into who we are meant to become. Every stumble forces us to reassess, to dig deeper, and to find strength we didn't know we had. Think about any meaningful achievement in life: graduating from school, building a successful career, developing a loving relationship, or mastering a skill. None of these happen without some level of struggle. Behind every success story is a series of moments where things didn't go as planned. The reality is that falling isn't just common, it's inevitable. We can spend our lives trying to shield ourselves from it, or we can accept that it is part of the journey and learn to rise each time it happens. When we fall, it's tempting to see it as a personal flaw, as evidence that we aren't good enough or capable enough. But this thinking is a trap. Falling is not proof that we have failed as people. It is proof that we are living, trying, and taking risks. Those who never fall are often the ones who never step outside their comfort zones. They avoid challenges, and in doing so, they avoid growth. A life without falling is a life without discovery, without the thrill of trying something new, without the satisfaction of overcoming obstacles. Falling also has a way of revealing truths we might otherwise ignore. When things are going well, we may coast along without questioning our choices or direction. But a setback forces us to pause and reflect. It's during these moments that we often gain clarity about what matters most. We might realize that the path we were on wasn't truly fulfilling, that our priorities were misplaced, or that we have been neglecting important aspects of our lives. In this way, falling can be a powerful guide, redirecting us toward what truly aligns with our values and passions. Another reason falling is an essential part of being human is that it connects us to others. Everyone falls, no matter how strong, intelligent, or successful they may seem. When we share our struggles, we break the illusion that life is meant to be flawless. Our honesty creates connection. It allows others to see that they are not alone in their struggles. The bond formed through shared vulnerability is one of the most powerful forms of human connection. Moreover, falling teaches humility. Success can be intoxicating, making us believe we are invincible. But a fall reminds us that we are not above mistakes or challenges. It humbles us, making us more compassionate and understanding toward others who are going through difficult times. The empathy that comes from our own struggles is what allows us to offer genuine support to those around us. In the end, falling is not something to fear or avoid. It is an integral part of the human story. Every time we stumble, we are presented with a choice to stay down and let the fall define us, or to rise and let it refine us. The first path leads to stagnation and regret. The second leads to strength, wisdom, and resilience. While falling may bring pain in the moment, it also brings the opportunity for transformation. The truth is, you will fall many times in your life. You will make mistakes, face failures, and encounter moments that test your spirit. But each fall is a chapter, not the whole book. It is a lesson, not a life sentence. When we learn to see falling not as the end, but as a natural and necessary part of growth, we free ourselves from the fear of it. We start to understand that every setback is simply a setup for a stronger comeback. And that, more than anything else, is what it means to be human. Failure is our greatest teacher, though it rarely feels that way in the moment. When we experience failure, the first emotions that surface are often disappointment, frustration, and even shame. It can feel like the world is closing in, like our efforts have been wasted, and like our dreams have slipped through our fingers. But beneath the sting of failure lies something far more valuable than success ever gives us: wisdom. Success is sweet, but it often masks the lessons we need to learn. Failure, on the other hand, forces us to confront reality, to examine our actions, and to discover truths that comfort and ease would never reveal. When everything goes according to plan, it's easy to move forward without much reflection. We may celebrate our wins, enjoy the moment, and assume that our current approach will always work. But success can create a kind of blindness. It makes us feel that we've found the formula, that we no longer need to question or adjust. Failure strips away that illusion. It demands that we stop and ask ourselves hard questions. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? Where did I overlook something important? In searching for these answers, we uncover insights that sharpen our judgment and strengthen our future efforts. Think about the most valuable lessons you've learned in your life. Chances are, many of them came not from moments when everything went perfectly, but from times when things fell apart. A failed relationship teaches you about communication, boundaries, and the kind of person you truly need to be with. A failed business venture teaches you about risk, planning, and resilience. Even small failures, like making a mistake at work or missing a personal goal, can reveal weaknesses to address and habits to improve. In this way, failure is like a mirror, reflecting back the areas where we need to grow. There's also something powerful about the humility that failure brings. When we succeed too easily, we might fall into the trap of arrogance, thinking that we have everything figured out. Failure reminds us that we don't, and that there's always room to learn. This humility is a gift. It keeps us open to new ideas, willing to seek advice, and eager to keep improving. It prevents us from becoming stagnant, because we know that mastery is a journey, not a final destination. Some of history's most successful people understood this truth deeply. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each of those so-called failures brought him closer to creating the light bulb. If he had stopped after his first or 10th or 1000th failed attempt, the world might have been very different today. His story shows that failure isn't just a detour, it's often the very road to success. The same can be said for countless inventors, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders who turned their setbacks into stepping stones. Failure also teaches resilience. The more times you fail and keep going, the stronger your capacity becomes to handle challenges. It's like building muscle. You grow stronger by pushing against resistance. Every failure tests your determination, and every time you choose to rise again, you prove to yourself that you are capable of enduring far more than you once believed. This resilience becomes one of your greatest assets, not just for future goals, but for life in general. Another gift of failure is perspective. When you've been through tough times, you appreciate success more when it comes. You know what it costs, you remember the sacrifices, and you understand the effort behind it. Without the contrast of failure, success can feel hollow or fleeting. But when you've fought through difficulties, every achievement carries a deeper sense of pride and gratitude. The truth is, failure will visit everyone at some point. It's not a sign that you're incapable. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, that you're reaching for something greater. Those who never fail are often those who never dare. By embracing failure as a teacher instead of an enemy, you open yourself to the kind of growth that success alone can't give you. In the end, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every mistake you make, every plan that falls apart, every attempt that doesn't work out is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for what's next. The key is to see failure for what it really is, not a verdict on your worth, but a lesson in your journey. When you take those lessons to heart, you turn each failure into a foundation for future victories. And with every step forward, you'll find that your greatest teacher has been with you all along. Resilience is built through challenges. Every fall strengthens our ability to rise again. Life has a way of testing us, sometimes when we least expect it. We encounter hardships, disappointments, and moments that make us question our own strength. But it is in those very moments, when the weight feels unbearable, that resilience is born. Resilience doesn't come from comfort, ease, or a life free of obstacles. It grows in the soil of adversity, watered by perseverance, and nurtured by the belief that no matter how hard we fall, we have the power to stand up again. When we face challenges, we are given a choice. We can either allow the difficulty to crush us, or we can use it as a stepping stone toward growth. Each obstacle is an opportunity to prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we once believed. Just as muscles grow stronger when pushed beyond their limits, our inner strength develops when we are stretched by life's trials. The more we endure, the more capable we become of enduring in the future. The beauty of resilience is that it transforms pain into power. Every time we rise after a fall, we are not the same as before. We are wiser, tougher, and more equipped to handle whatever comes next. Life storms will always come, but those who have faced and overcome them learn how to stand firm in the wind. They understand that resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them head on with courage. Falling is never pleasant. It shakes our confidence, disrupts our plans, and often leaves us feeling vulnerable. Yet every fall carries a hidden lesson. It teaches us humility by reminding us that we are not invincible. It teaches us patience as we work through the recovery. And most importantly, it teaches us hope, because when we rise again, we see that setbacks are temporary, but the strength we gain from them lasts a lifetime. In the moments of struggle, it can be hard to see the purpose behind the pain. But looking back, we often realize that our greatest growth came from the hardest seasons. Challenges reveal our character. They show us what we are truly made of. They push us to tap into resources we didn't know we had. Creativity, determination, and a deep well of courage. Without challenges, we would never know the depth of our own resilience. Resilience doesn't mean we never feel fear, doubt, or discouragement. It means we feel all of these things and keep going anyway. It means we don't give up when the road gets rough. It means we trust that no matter how many times we fall, we are capable of getting back up, stronger each time. Every scar we carry is proof that we survived. Every time we get back on our feet, we reinforce the belief that nothing can keep us down for long. Over time, this belief becomes unshakable. We stop seeing challenges as threats and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. We stop fearing the fall because we know we can rise. The truth is, resilience is not something we are simply born with. It's something we build. And we build it by facing life's challenges with courage, determination, and the refusal to quit. Every trial, every difficulty, and every setback becomes part of the foundation that supports us in the future. We don't become resilient by avoiding the storm. We become resilient by learning how to dance in the rain. In the end, challenges are not there to break us, but to shape us. They prepare us for greater things ahead. Every fall is a reminder that we have the capacity to rise. And every rise is proof that resilience lives within us, ready to grow stronger with each step forward. Sometimes life has a way of bringing us to our knees, not to punish us, but to push us toward a direction we never would have chosen on our own. Setbacks can feel like dead ends, like the universe closing the door on everything we've worked for. In those moments, it's easy to believe we've been defeated, or that all our effort has gone to waste. But the truth is, some of the greatest blessings come disguised as failures. When something falls apart, it often clears the space for something better to take its place. The very fall that feels like it's breaking us may actually be redirecting us toward where we are truly meant to be. Think about the times in your life when something you deeply wanted didn't work out, a job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, a plan that collapsed. In the moment, it felt like the worst thing that could happen. Yet, with time and perspective, you may have realized that if those things had worked out, you wouldn't be where you are today. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the closed door, they all served as turning points. Life has a way of protecting us from what isn't meant for us, even when we can't see it. What we often call a setback is sometimes the universe's way of removing us from a path that doesn't lead to our purpose. This doesn't mean the pain is easy to bear. When you're in the middle of it, the redirection feels like rejection. The mind screams for answers, the heart aches for what it's lost, and everything in you wants to fight to go back to the way things were. But if you can hold on through the discomfort, if you can trust that there is meaning behind the chaos, you'll often discover that the fall was not the end. It was the beginning of something new. Setbacks challenge us to pause, reflect, and reevaluate. They force us to ask questions we might never ask when things are going smoothly. Am I on the right path? Is this truly what I want? Am I living in alignment with my values? Sometimes the answers lead us in an entirely different direction, one that is far more fulfilling than what we originally envisioned. Without the fall, we might have kept walking down a road that slowly drained our spirit, never realizing there was a better way. There's a certain wisdom that comes from being forced to start over. You begin to see that not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes it's a form of protection. You realize that strength is not just in holding on, but in knowing when to let go. You understand that control is an illusion and that surrender, not in defeat but in trust, can lead to greater victories. When life redirects you, it's not always obvious where you're going. The path ahead might be unclear, and that uncertainty can be uncomfortable. But if you keep moving forward, even in small steps, you'll eventually see how the pieces fit together. What once felt like a painful detour begins to look like divine timing. The job you didn't get made space for a career you love. The person who left created the room for a relationship that truly supports you. The dream that crumbled gave birth to a vision far greater than you imagined. Setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the plot twists that make the journey meaningful. They remind us that life isn't about rigidly holding on to our plans, but about staying open to the possibilities that emerge when those plans fall apart. Every fall is an invitation to trust the process, to believe that where you're being led is exactly where you're meant to be. And often, when you arrive, you'll look back and realize that the fall didn't destroy you, it saved you. Success taste is different when it's earned through struggle. There is a unique sweetness that comes from knowing you have fought, endured, and pushed through storms to reach your goal. Easy victories rarely carry the same weight. When something comes without effort, it may bring temporary satisfaction, but it doesn't leave the same mark on your soul. It is the fight, the sweat, and the moments when you nearly gave up that give success its richness. Struggle transforms a simple achievement into a story, a journey you can look back on and feel proud of, because you know you didn't just stumble upon it, you fought for it. The human spirit finds joy in triumph, but the depth of that joy is directly tied to the price paid for it. When you have faced countless obstacles, when the world seemed to be against you, and when doubts crept into your mind, yet you kept going, the moment you finally succeed is almost indescribable. It's not just happiness, it's relief, pride, and deep fulfillment rolled into one. It's the kind of feeling that comes from knowing you conquered not only the external challenges, but also the internal battles, fear, self-doubt, and exhaustion. Struggle gives success meaning because it forces growth. You don't emerge from hardships the same person you were when you entered them. Every difficulty shapes you, making you more patient, more resilient, and more aware of your own strength. Without these challenges, success would be shallow. Struggle teaches you to value what you achieve, to hold it close, and to never take it for granted. When you've worked for something with all your heart, you protect it fiercely because you know exactly what it cost you. Hard-won victories also teach gratitude. When you've experienced loss, failure, or prolonged difficulty, you become more appreciative of every good thing that comes your way. You understand that nothing is promised, and that makes every achievement feel like a blessing. Gratitude deepens joy. It transforms success from just a personal win into a moment of reflection on all the lessons, people, and opportunities that helped you along the way. Struggle also strengthens character. It's easy to be proud when things go your way, but true character is tested when life doesn't bend to your will. The discipline to keep going, the humility to accept failures, and the courage to try again are forged in the heat of adversity. When you finally succeed after all this, it's not just a win, it's a testament to the person you've become in the process. Moreover, success after struggle inspires others. People don't just connect with your victories, they connect with your battles. When they see what you've been through, they are encouraged to keep going in their own journeys. Your story becomes a living example that even the deepest setbacks can lead to triumph. This ripple effect turns personal achievement into something much bigger, hope for others who are still in the middle of their fight. It's the struggle that makes the reward so sweet. Without the weight of the climb, the view from the top wouldn't mean as much. But when every step has been fought for, every mile earned through persistence, the summit becomes more than just a destination. It becomes proof of your strength, resilience, and willpower. Success feels sweeter after struggle because it's not just about winning, it's about becoming. The journey shapes you, the fight refines you, and the victory reminds you that every moment of pain was worth it. When we fall, it's not just a private experience, it's a story waiting to be told. Our struggles, failures, and moments of getting back up are often the most powerful bridges we can build between ourselves and others. In a world where people often feel alone in their pain, sharing our recovery stories becomes an act of courage and connection. It reminds others that they are not the only ones navigating storms, and that healing, growth, and transformation are possible no matter how dark the night feels. There is something profoundly human about admitting we've been broken and showing how we pieced ourselves back together. These moments strip away the illusions of perfection and replace them with honesty. And honesty has a way of reaching people in places no motivational slogan can touch. When someone hears that you once felt hopeless, lost, or defeated, but found a way to rise, they see a mirror for their own potential. They see proof that wounds can heal, that strength can return, and that tomorrow can still hold promise. Inspiration doesn't come only from flawless victories. In fact, it often flows more deeply from stories of redemption. When you reveal your path from the pit to the mountaintop, it carries weight because you speak from experience, not theory. You've walked through the fire, and now your scars serve as living testimony. This vulnerability creates a space where others feel safe to open up about their own struggles. One shared story can break the silence for many, giving them permission to stop hiding behind a mask of, "I'm fine," and start seeking real support. Empathy grows in the soil of shared pain. When we listen to someone's recovery journey, we start to understand not only their resilience, but also the humanity behind their choices. We begin to recognize that everyone carries unseen burdens, and we become slower to judge and quicker to offer compassion. In this way, falls don't just shape the individual, they shape entire communities. A single act of sharing can ripple outwards, strengthening bonds between friends, families, and even strangers. It's also important to remember that telling our recovery stories doesn't mean we must have reached some perfect after moment. You can inspire people even while you're still on the journey, showing that progress matters more than perfection. Many people are encouraged not by the polished ending, but by the messy, real-time truth that you are still standing and still moving forward. Our falls, in essence, make us relatable. Perfection is intimidating, but imperfection is magnetic. It draws people closer. It's the reason why a story about overcoming financial hardship, heartbreak, health challenges, or self-doubt resonates so strongly. People see themselves in your past and find hope in your present. Your recovery becomes a map they can follow, a light they can move toward. Sharing our falls is not about seeking pity or applause. It's about giving others the gift of possibility. Every time you open up about how you stumbled and found your footing again, you plant seeds of resilience in someone else's heart. You remind them that pain is temporary, that renewal is possible, and that their own story isn't over yet. And in doing so, you not only inspire others, you also heal a deeper part of yourself. Because connection, after all, is one of the most powerful forms of recovery there is. Life is not defined by how perfectly we walk, but by how courageously we rise after we fall. Every stumble, every setback, and every challenge holds a hidden gift, an opportunity to grow, to redirect our path, to deepen our resilience, and to strengthen our character. Our failures teach us lessons that no success ever could. Our struggles make our victories richer in meaning, and our stories of rising inspire others to keep moving forward. Falling is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that we are living, trying and daring. And when we rise not only for ourselves but for those who look to us, as a reminder that no matter how hard life knocks you down, you can always stand again. In the end, it's not the fall that defines us. It's the rise that makes us unforgettable.